Good afternoon, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. This is Gavaskar Reid. I'm Industry Engagement Manager from the New York City Department of Education. This is our Automotive and Transportation Commission meeting. This is the best possible place that you can be within New York City if you are looking to connect with like-minded individuals who are looking to, number one, promote our CTE programs within automotive and transportation, and number two, to uplift the skilled trades and everybody, every organization that works therein. We know oftentimes that in this generation and in this country, unfortunately, many people overlook the valuable opportunities that come within the automotive and transportation trades. But we do have a portfolio of high schools where we are training our young people to become magnificent professionals within automotive repair, within collision repair, within aviation, within supply chain management, within transit technology, within the various maritime trades. And this is the place to be. We also have a number of wonderful partners at the post-secondary level, at the public sector level, at the private sector level, union and non-union. And I want to thank you all for your partnership, because this commission could not have existed without you. We work with the various high schools throughout New York City, the 5 boroughs of New York City, that offer various CTE programs, and I oversee 3 commissions. This is one of 3 commission meetings that I'm doing for this month. Later on this week, I will also be running the Construction and Sustainability Commission for those of you who are interested within the building trades, specifically carpentry, electrical, HVAC, plumbing, and everything everything within those fields which are related. And also next week, I'm also going to be doing, wait a second. Later this week, I'm doing the Engineering and Architecture Commission meeting. And then next week, I'll be doing the Construction Commission meeting. But you know how I work. I like to break down silos. There's so much overlap between these different trades. So you come to one meeting, you get the same information. You get relevant information that will apply for you or your organization. So just make sure you come to all of my meetings. This commission is overseen by 2 giants in the industry. We have the Chief Fleet Officer, my main man, Keith Kerman, from the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, otherwise known as DCAS. And we also have the Chief Maintenance Officer from MTA, New York City Transit Department of Buses, Danny Cordoza. These are 2 gentlemen that are the chair people. They are the ambassadors for this particular commission. And I want you all to know that at all times, you can access our public Google Drive, where you will see all presentation slides, recordings, notes, anything that you need that pertains to our meetings. They are found on our public Google Drive, and it could be found at bit.ly/industry engagement folder. And I'll be sure to drop that link into the chat box as this meeting progresses as well. Now, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our co-chair, Keith Kerman, who has been a magnanimous partner to our education system for the past number of years now. And I'm going to turn the floor over to him. Go for it, Keith.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you all see these slides?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Well, it's good to be with you again. We are at DCAS are very committed to supporting the automotive high school program and supporting all of you. It's been a wonderful partnership that's gone on for a long time, and we want to continue it and grow it. And so wanted to give you an update on some of the things that we're doing over at NYC Fleet and at DCAS. And also kind of encourage one particular initiative. You all know us, we're the City Fleet, 29,500 strong across 50 agencies. So just wanted to say we had a really good summer this year with our automotive students and our internships. This is kind of our end of the season event over at service station number 4 with NYPD, but really a good vibe, about 35 students. And heard just a lot of good things from the agencies that participated, sanitation and DCAS and NYPD and fire, who were all out there. And we just want to keep doing this and grow it as much as we can. One piece of good news is that we got approval from our OMB to do hiring of auto service workers. We're all dealing with staffing issues in different spheres, but we did get the kind of a blanket approval to fill all our auto service worker lines at all the different agencies. So hopefully that pipeline that we tried to develop from high school graduation to employment with us is operating, and we know we're bringing in a number of service workers. We continue to donate equipment and vehicles. There's probably about 26 to 27 different vehicles and equipment pieces. We sent over some more engines over to ATEC, another Prius. We like sending over hybrids and maybe get to plug-in electrics. Would like to, hybrid is already old technology. We want to do all plug-in with you, but we continue to be available to donate equipment. I will tell you that thanks to Mayor Adams' fleet reduction initiative, we do have some Nissan Leafs that will become available, some older 11, 12-year-old Nissan Leafs that are going to get salvaged out of parks, a couple other agencies. So if those would be helpful as part of your educational work and you want to kind of take that next step to all electric, I think we would be able to do that. I do want to encourage you. We've been talking to Nice Bus. I know Matt Berlin's on the call. Been talking to the Department of Youth and Community Development. I do think we've talked to the Department of Ed earlier in the year. We really would like to develop a program in partnership with you. I know there's kind of a chancellor's grant or challenge out there very recently to try and take that next step to do ASE certification for hybrid and electric vehicles. We know there's an ASE out there. We think this would be just a really great program to start training students into what we hope to be the vehicles of the future and are going to be the vehicles of the future, especially in our fleet, but hopefully everywhere. You have the ASE program. There is the ASE certification. So we're certainly available to help on the equipment side, on the vehicle side, on the support side. There's a few different pathways to try and get there, but we'd love to work with you to get there and be able to add this to the programming and the teaching that you're doing. Just some updates on what we're doing here in Fleet. We continue to electrify the fleet. We committed to an all-electric fleet by 2035. We hit the 4,000 mark and announced that just a couple weeks ago. And I will tell you, based on work I've been doing in the last 48 hours, we're pretty much set up. We're doing about 1,000 other orders. And come next summer, we'll announce we hit the 5,000 mark. We are two big exciting things. We're starting to buy a lot of electric cargo vans, the Ford Transit vans, and putting in our first big order of the Ford E-Lightning, the crew cab pickup truck. So starting to get into that medium duty vehicle side. We did announce a project with the United States Department of Transportation and Department of Ed and work we've been doing with the school bus companies to take a look at what we call a safe fleet transition plan, but to take a look at the design of the school bus. As we go to an electric school bus fleet, we want to rethink the design of the school bus for safety. One of the big things we want to look at are high vision trucks. Instead of having that conventional engine transmission in front of the driver bus that is most buses today, that has a 25 to 30 foot line of sight, have them be high vision, or what we sometimes call cab over, but really nice high vision. Also looking at the use of telematics, the use of intelligent speed assist, which I'll talk about in a minute, speed controls, and other innovations. So any of you have had ideas about that? We've just launched this project publicly. But anyone who's got ideas about how you'd like to see the school bus of the future, not just be electric, but be safer and more effective, we'd love to hear from you, and that's a project we've launched. I did mention it under Mayor Adams. We are launching a fleet reduction initiative using our telematics to make vehicles more efficient and our use of vehicles and our fleet operations more efficient. Where that could help you, I've got some vehicles around. So not for you to use and drive around in, but to use in your school programs. One really exciting thing we just announced is intelligent speed assist, which I mentioned. These are dynamic speed governors that you put into vehicles. We have 50 testing now, although we have a program that we're developing to potentially put them in every light duty and medium duty vehicle in the city fleet, 7,500. Basically, these are devices that go tied to telematics They know where you are. They know what the speed limit is wherever you might be, and they don't let you speed. Technically, they don't let you accelerate over the speed limit. If you're in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, if you're on the FDR and you try to go above 40, the accelerator will let you do it once. It'll let you maybe get to 42. Then the accelerator does not work anymore. It will not let you further accelerate till you come back under the speed limit. Really exciting technology. Happy to present it over to the schools, and this is part of what we'd like to see to be the the cutting edge of the future. Last thing I want to mention, next week we have our Vision Zero Fleet Safety Forum at Flushing Meadow Park. We invite all of you to come and let us know if this is something you want to participate in. It's free, it's available. We'll have continental breakfast and a lunch and a lot of really good conversation and presentation on safety. Our Commissioner, Don Pinnock, will be speaking. The DOT Commissioner, Udonis Rodriguez, will be speaking. We have representatives from the federal and state government who are going to be presenting on safety. Then a lot of panels on safety innovation with safety advocates, with technology companies. This is the first time we've done this forum in person since 2019. We've done a lot of Zoom safety forums, but we're really excited to get back in person. So please join us. Just email me if you plan on coming, and we'd love to have students come. We think it's a very valuable forum. We've had high school students in the past, and definitely would love to see you in the park. With that, just really happy to be with you again. Please consider us a resource. We've got a lot of stuff going out there. Got a lot of mechanics, a lot of vehicles, a lot of garages, and a lot of willingness to try and be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you as always, Keith. And Keith and his team and the rest of our partnering agencies did a great job over the summer. They hosted a number of our interns to do automotive work and administrative work. So thank you, Keith, and thank you to the rest of the partner and city agencies for making that possible. Next, we are going to turn it over to our other chair of our commission, Daniel Cordoza from MTA. Go for it, Danny.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to quickly talk about two topics. First one will be just a quick update from the MTA bus division. And then I just want to talk a little bit about the workforce with respect to technology. So the MTA, we've committed to bring our bus fleet to zero emissions by 2040. Currently, we have 5 electric buses and 60 more electric buses ordered from different vendors. We have 15 electric buses in service. We're looking closely at hydrogen right now, potentially doing some work with hydrogen buses. And we're also working on 470 more electric buses, and we're trying to secure the funding for those. We're still working on getting funding for our apprentice program. We're hopeful we can get that back up and running again. And we are also looking to expand our training facility in conjunction with the 470 electric buses when we make that purchase in a couple of years. So what I wanted to talk about with respect to technology, I want to talk about the workforce and how we prepare them. That's a little bit of a struggle we have in buses, but I'll start out about talking about, I want to talk about the automotive world, right? And in automotive, we have technologies such as blind spot detection, we have emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, right? They're all very complex. They require specialized training. And those features, they're not exclusive to electric vehicles or hybrids. In buses, we have technology such as, well, hybrids, electric buses. We have PCs literally in the vehicle for our telematics, for our security camera systems. We have camera systems on the bus that take pictures of vehicles in bus lanes. We have electric AC. Most of the systems are all controlled by some sort of electronic control unit. We have other bolt-on technologies such as passenger counters. We have backup cameras. We have turn signal warning, digital bus radio systems. We have the Omni for fare collection. So my point is, are we preparing the workforce to work on these systems? And is it the same track? Should we be doing what most of the dealerships are doing, where they have their A mechanics or their master techs and they're giving them extensive training? And those are the folks that are going to be doing this type of work. Or I've noticed some of the other transit agencies in the country are literally hiring more of an electronic technician that's going to work on the buses, or even an automotive electrician. So that's an area that I think we should, as a group, take a hard look at it. I'd love to even have a working group and host a working group so we could talk about, what we think are the pros and cons to either using a mechanic and giving more training, or should we have a separate track? What are the pros and cons? And then take a hard look at the CTE programs to see if we're able to get people prepared for those types of jobs. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Gav.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much, Dan. Do we have any questions or comments from anybody in attendance for either Keith Kerman or Daniel Cordoza? I see some thumbs up and I see some celebratory emojis. Any questions or comments though?
Yes.
Yeah. Gav, this is Clem Drummond.
Yes, Clem, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we're doing a lot at Bronx Community College to complement the work that they were already doing. One of the things is that we just proposed to the curriculum committee that we have 3 courses that are designed to become an we'll say electrification technician. And what happens is the one is intro to electric vehicles. Then we have another course that's called autonomous vehicles. And then you have a 6-hour lab that you tie both pieces together working on electric vehicles. So that's where we're going with Bronx Community College.
Great, thanks, Clem. Any other questions, comments before we move on? All right, and I just wanted to reiterate something that Keith mentioned earlier. The Vision Zero Safety Forum event is coming up next week. So this is a field trip opportunity. There is room available. I know that for the school staff members, you guys are always asking about opportunities to network and have your kids meet industry professionals. So this is something that you guys can tap into. So please reach out to me if you are interested in attending that. Thus far, I've heard from Edison. I haven't heard from some of the others. So please let me know. We do have a question here from Caesar. Quick question regarding the EV fleets. What is the projected lifespan of the cars? I think that's for you, Keith.
Yeah, we're trying to extend the lifespan on EVs as part of our return on investment calculations to 12 years. So we normally look at 9 to 10 years and 80,000 miles for light duty and medium duty. And that's actually posted in the fleet manual. As part of our ROI, we want to get maintenance savings, which we think are going to be tremendous, 70%. Fuel savings, obviously the liquid fuel savings. But then part of our ROI is we think, because there's just so many fewer components that can break down, and there's no engine that, in the same sense that a combustion engine we're going to have to worry about, and no fuel system, no catalytic converter to be stolen. We're trying to extend to 12 years is going to be our goal date to extend on average, and that's a big part of our ROI. I also just want to mention that Clem is an absolute wonderful resource. I'm sure most of you know him, but he's one of the very few people that I traced my career back to all the way in 1994 and natural gas sites at the Parks Department. But it's a tremendous resource, and we should all think about how we can involve BCC in what we're doing as well.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Keith. And for any of our school staff members or anybody within this meeting, if you have any individuals that are pursuing, that would like to pursue a degree within automotive technology, Clem runs a fantastic program there. I'm actually going to go visit to check out his new facilities Friday this week. All right, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, I wanted to recognize none other than Leo Beast Mode Gordon. I see that he's in attendance with us today. Leo is the VP of CTE for the United Federation of Teachers. Welcome, Leo. Go for it.
Thanks a lot, Gav. Clem, I just got a question for you, and just to tie up some conversation that I heard from Daniel and Keith. You mentioned those courses that you were offering. Are those courses in person or are they virtual?
Actually, these courses will start in fall of 2023. As you know, there's a whole procedure to add something to curriculum to a degree program.
And the reason
they will be in person, depending. If there was another pandemic, then there's another story. And I don't think so.
So what we should investigate, Clem, I know you remember the pre-apprenticeship program that we did for diesel, and we opened it up to the city during the pandemic. I don't want to put you out there, but I don't know if everybody on the call knew about that. During the pandemic, the heart of the pandemic, Bronx Community College, along with a great deal of the automotive schools, put together a team. I think it was 37 students that did a pre-apprenticeship program.
That's correct.
Very, very successful pre-apprenticeship program, because of the 37, 35 of those students completed that pre-apprenticeship. So I think what we can do, and I'm speaking, hoping or understanding that Bronx Community College will be on board with this, we could actually put something together along the lines of pre-apprenticeship with the electronics, the move to electronics. Maybe give them a snippet of this curriculum, something that we could launch for the entire city. Let's talk about that, and we want to connect the schools to something, because as you guys know, curriculums in the school are developed with a 5-year plan. It's very hard for them to pivot at the high school level to change with the times, but with little programs like this and little initiatives like this, we could at least get some of the students a taste of the new technology before we start focusing on and trying to catch the DOE up and the curriculum changes that take place. So we can give them an entree to this curriculum faster than we can change school curriculum. So let's talk about that offline, Clem, and connect. And we'll put
we would be willing to talk about that, because it worked out so well the last time. Like you said, 35 out of 37. And you know, diesel is not something that you really find in the high school level.
Right.
But it's certainly, when you go to an employer, they're very happy that you have that credential or a certificate in that particular area. So I'm willing to, get together with partners.
And I threw that out publicly so that you guys can hold me true to it, because now that you've heard it, it's got to happen. So we'll make sure it happens. Thanks, Clem. I appreciate it.
Congratulations on your promotion.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you.
Great working with you. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, I'm sharing my screen for a few moments because I would be remiss if I did not mention this. In case you are not familiar, everything that we do, whether it's this meeting, the various programs, the various initiatives that our office has in place, they are meant to align with my boss's vision. Well, he's my boss's 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 boss, but ultimately he's everybody's boss here in DOE. Chancellor David Banks, you may have heard of the North Star. Anytime you hear this phrase, it is referring to the concept, and that refers to our belief that all students must graduate with a plan and a pathway to a rewarding career, long-term economic security, and equipped to be a positive force for change in our communities and our city. So ultimately, we have David Banks, who oversees our department, but you all know my direct supervisor, Jessica Kemper, who's on the line with us as well. Just wanted to let you all know that there are certain other initiatives that are happening in within the DOE world. It may not directly impact specifically the automotive and transportation programs, but these are headline making initiatives that are taking place. Many of our schools are involved in Future Ready NYC, and this is a career pathway pilot for our programs that involve business and finance, education, healthcare, and tech careers. I'm missing a comma right there. I just caught that. We also have the Career Readiness and Modern Youth Apprenticeships initiative as well. This is an apprenticeship pathway pilot that DOE is doing. And finally, There's also the CTE Modernization and Upgrades initiative that we are doing, which is funding to assist schools in developing programs. So that funding is meant to cover certain expenses that maybe your Perkins grant may not be able to cover. Crisan Luchetto is the point of contact for this. So for any of our CTE high schools on the call, if you are interested in applying for this grant, which is up to $50,000, if you are looking to improve or upgrade your equipment, your computer purchases, or if you want to spend some funds towards teacher training and upskilling, or maybe you are in need of certain supplies and materials or security devices or other professional device services, make sure you apply for this grant. This is due by October 26th, and I'll be sure to get this information out to you in case your school did not already receive it. All right, so just wanted to make sure that those announcements were out the way before we moved on. All right, next, I wanted to welcome one of our new industry partners with us. It is none other than Jason Vasquez from Toyota. And I had the privilege of meeting Jason and a number of different professionals from Toyota, thanks to John Laura, one of our core commission members, at the Gonida location. And I see you, Carol. It's good to see you. Welcome. We are always looking to expand our partnerships, and we are always looking for different opportunities we can implement so that we can push forward the industry. And so many times we hear from our teachers and our kids, hey, where are the opportunities in New York City? We do our shop class, we work on cars inside of our classrooms, but where are the industry professionals? Where are the different shops that we can actually see for ourselves? Where are the different technicians we can get to meet? So I wanted to turn it over to Jason Vasquez, who's going to talk a little bit about himself and Toyota. Go for it, Jason. And you are on mute still, Jason. You got to unmute. Yeah. Okay.
How you guys doing? Happy Tuesday, everyone. How's everything, man?
Good, good.
Good, wonderful. My name is Jason Vasquez. I've been in the automotive industry for about a little bit over 20 years. I'm currently the service director at City World Toyota. I used to also be the service manager at Fordham Toyota as well. What we're doing here, we're actually we're trying to work with the military and also with the Department of Ed, so like that we could go ahead and curate the technicians of the future. Obviously now the industry is suffering a lot when it comes to technician recruitment and whatnot. So we're definitely pushing a lot of the educational initiatives that you guys are presenting towards us. We have a specific program that we deal with T10, with Toyota directly, as well as with M10, which is with the military personnel that are technicians. And we wanted to expand our partnership with the Department of Education. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I wasn't well yesterday. I was a little sick yesterday. So right here in City World Toyota, what we do is we definitely want to go ahead and work with you guys and bring in the technicians. We're going to push them to go ahead and get their ASCs, as well as put them in T10 programs so that the students could go ahead and advance their knowledge as well as their expertise with on-site training. We do provide a apprenticeship program where they go ahead and get shadowed, where they shadow like my master techs or my B-level techs or my A-level techs as well. We start pretty much at the bottom, like we'll start them at a TXM program, which is, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of the shop, so it's gonna be a little bit noisy over here. Let me go somewhere else, because of course when I'm doing this, that's when everybody goes to drill.
See, everyone, this is a good thing, not a bad thing, because the last thing you want is a shop that's not making any noise. So we see that Jason and his team, they're getting customers, they're getting the work done. That is how a shop is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's my shop is pretty busy. We handle about 144 cars. We have 18 bays. We have about 12 technicians. I do 2 of the technicians are floaters. The other technicians get about a bay. Some techs got A-list and the expert techs get 2 bays. We do have plenty of work, and we do need a lot of people. If you understand the demographic, like if you understand the market right now with technicians and trying to get technicians, As a matter of fact, that's where I met this great gentleman that was all about retaining technicians in this field right now, because it's been one of the greatest hardships that any dealership has been encountering. So we do start them off at TXM, which is Toyota Express Maintenance. So like that, they could go ahead and go about learning the basics, oil changes, tire rotations, brakes and whatnot, and applying what you guys teach them in the classes. Then after that, we'll go ahead and get them certified through Toyota, do their e-learning modules. From then we could go ahead and place them in T10 programs, or also go ahead and try to place them in to get them some ASC preps. Now, the way that the compensation works here, every ASC that the technicians get here, they get $1 compensation per hour based on each ASC that they get. If they get the inspector's license, they get another $1.50. If they go from hourly to flat rate, they get $1.50. So typically I start off at 15. After they become flat rate, it's $16.50. After they get the inspection license, it'll be about $18. Then after that, they could get $1 per ASC they obtain, which are about 9 ASCs. Now, if they come from school with ASCs, they automatically start with that incremental increase. Okay. After that, when they do hit the 9 ASCs and they do decide to become master, we do compensate them $3 extra per hour. Now, on the flat rate agreement that we have, if they produce 80 hours in their 2 weeks, we compensate them an extra $1 an hour bonus. If they obtain 100 hours, they get $2 an hour bonus. So if they're getting paid $18 an hour and they hit 100 hours of productivity, they'll go ahead and get $20 an hour for the 100 hours instead of just the $18 an hour for their 100 hours. We do offer some benefits here as far as 401k and basic, the basics. And definitely our organizational behavior is a little bit different here. I try to run the dealership a little bit like Google. So I'm not too crazy. I feel like the way that the automotive industry used to be run in the past was a little bit kind of like restraining and very strict and very demeaning sometimes and belittling. So I try to run it where we're a family and so the culture here is very friendly, very understanding. And so if you guys have anybody that you want to send here, I would definitely recommend that you send somebody that you see is like a team player and that kind of sees like themselves in a position where they want to grow. Is there any questions anybody has or anything that I possibly have left out?
Yes, thank you, Jason. Kathy, you're missing the T from your name. I see your hand up. Feel free to unmute, Kathy.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I don't have any questions. Oh, let me see.
Oh, you don't?
Now.
Okay.
No.
All right. Any questions or comments? Jason, somebody wants to know, one of our partners wants to know, where is your shop physically located?
It's on 3860 Boston Road. It's in the Bronx.
Great. All right. Any other questions or comments for Jason? All right. So especially to our folks from Alfred Smith, please look out for an email from me. I'm going to make sure that I connect you to Jason and his team. And if there are any others on the team that would like to connect, please let me know. Jason, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure. We're going to be in touch throughout the school year.
No, absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate all of you. Hope you guys have a wonderful week.
All right. You too. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right, so we've heard about Bronx Community College, but we do have other college partners on the line. I wanted to introduce to everybody Megan DeMayo Dalen from SUNY Suffolk Community College. This is another one of our partner programs. Thanks to them, we've been able to get a few of our automotive programs approved by the state. Suffolk Community College has been involved in looking at some of our curriculum and also connecting us to some field trip opportunities and other resources as well. So I want to welcome you, Megan. Thank you so much for joining us, and feel free to take over and share with the group what you have for us.
Of course, I know we're obviously tight on time, so I'm just going to give a little synopsis, but my counterpart couldn't be here from the automotive department. My name is Megan DeMeo Dalen. I actually work in the admissions office at SUNY Suffolk, and I work hand in hand with our automotive program in helping assisting students in getting into the automotive program. So I'm going to give some information about our programs in general, but then I'll provide some information session details on the last slide, and also information if you're thinking about making class trip opportunities out to Suffolk Community College. We are more than happy to welcome all of you. So at Suffolk Community College, we have a number of automotive degree, associate degree options, as well as certificate options. For our technical options, we have an auto service specialist AAS degree with concentrations. We have the Honda PAC training program, the GM ASAP training program. We also have a general automotive degree that includes factory training embedded credentials from BMW, Nissan, Fiat Chrysler, Ford, Mercedes-Benz, Subaru, just to name a few. We partner with programs like Jason had just mentioned. We have a specific Toyota T10 training program here at Suffolk. These degree programs are 64 credit degree programs that students receive an associate's degree and college credentials. The Honda PAC, GM, and Toyota T10 program, they receive 80% of their master certified training embedded as part of their curriculum. So that's a really positive piece. And for our general program, they get a percentage of their factory training embedded for those other areas if they choose to concentrate in one of those. We also have an automotive maintenance and light repair certificate program. Running this program for a number of years, we have found that some of the students don't want to do the general education academic coursework, your English, your math, your science, and they were looking for a college certificate to be able to move forward and have something to move forward with. So that is a 26 credit program that students would be able to use as a stackable credential as well if they decide they want to come back into our general automotive service specialist program. And you might be asking why Toyota T10 is separated from our automotive service specialist. And that's because Toyota T10 actually requires double the amount of lab hours compared to some of the other training programs. So it is certified as a separate degree program. We also have, for those students that are interested in the many facets of the automotive industry, but are not necessarily interested in the technical side of it, we have automotive business options. So we have an automotive business associates in applied science, and we also have an automotive business certificate program. The automotive business certificate program is meant for someone that has been in the industry or someone that already has an associate's degree in a technical option. It is not meant as a direct from high school, just to clarify the business certificate from the maintenance and light repair certificate. One program that we offer that is not listed up on here is we are one of the Tesla automotive training facilities. So that's a 14 to 16 week training program. It's very different from our automotive degrees in that our automotive associate's degrees, most of them are tracked for a 4-semester program or 2 years with co-op internship experience built in throughout. So our automotive programs have 640 hours of paid internship or co-op experience for those associate degrees. But one thing that's really amazing and unique is being a Tesla automotive training facility is we're one of 9 throughout the country. So you will, I think the closest on the Eastern Seaboard is somewhere in the Carolinas or Florida. So they're really spread throughout the country. For this program, Tesla actually makes the admissions decisions, but we are the training facility for them. So if you have any students, I know we've been talking a lot about electric on this call. If you have a student that's interested in one of those areas, they should definitely check that out. That's called the Tesla Start program. So just, going electric, something to think about. Our application process is pretty seamless. Students apply online. They send their high school transcripts. So for any teachers or counselors in the room, we'll need those just like any other college or university. And then we have an automotive technology information form where students will select that track that they're interested in. Like we talked about Honda, GM, Toyota, business, the general program. For the general program, we do run a day and evening option if that is of interest to any of your students. We review students for their academic placement, and as part of their automotive technology information form, we request that it's okay to run their license or permit. We check students' points as part of their admissions process to the program because some of our corporate partners need to have below a certain amount for those co-op or internship opportunities. We do have a number of upcoming information sessions for students and their families. We offer these in the evenings as the ability for students to come in and visit. We have an in-person on November 15th. We just had an in-person last week. We have 2 virtual as the weather starts to get a little bit colder and we're more not sure about the weather. Students can RSVP to those at bit.ly/auto-info, or you can just visit our website, sunysuffolk.edu/auto. I'll put those links in the chat after I'm done presenting, but that main page will give you lots of information about our degree programs. It also links out to our information sessions. If you have any larger groups or you're looking to come with your automotive class to do a class trip to come visit Suffolk, we can do an information session for you about admissions to the college as well as automotive, and you can get tours of the campus and the automotive building itself. We are a 3-campus system, so we have campuses in Brentwood, Selden, and Riverhead. Students have the flexibility of taking classes on any of the 3 campuses, except automotive classes are in person and currently on the Selden campus, just so that I make mention of that. If anyone has any questions, I have access to that auto@sunysuffolk.edu/email, as well as Professor Mackholes, who's the chair of the department, and our wonderful principal assistant, who is Liz Patterson. So all of us would be happy to answer any questions about our automotive programs and everything that we can help offer your students. Thank you all for your time today.
Thank you, Megan. Does anyone have any questions or comments before we continue? Any questions, comments from Megan? So again, for any of our schools that are looking for field trip opportunities, you want to check out some degree programs at Suffolk, you are more than welcome. So we do have several different options here. Kathy, I don't know if you're raising your hand by mistake or if you really have.
Yes, I
Oh, you
really
do?
have
Okay.
something to say this time.
Okay. Go
So
ahead.
Gav, I don't know if I missed it earlier, but did Keith or Eric, anybody speak to the exams coming up, the auto exams coming up in January and February? So that's a big deal as we are trying to get our students into the automotive field. I'm finding that the students that we had over the summer internships, they didn't know about the exams, which is really hard to get them on board when we hire them, because I'm hiring quite a few of them. DOT is hiring quite a few of them. So I want everybody to know to make sure they share with their students that there are automotive exams coming up in January of 2023 and February of 2023. Automotive, service workers, and auto mechanic.
Okay.
Hey,
for
Gavin, it's
yes,
Keith.
yes, yeah.
I didn't expect that question on this call, but I can get everybody an update on the specifics of the upcoming tests. I'll see if I can get it. I'll see if I can get it before the end of this call. And if I can, I'll just put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'll get it out to you.
Yeah.
As soon as I can.
Okay, thanks for that, Kathy and Keith. The thing is, Kathy, last time there was a civil service opening, our high school kids were not eligible for that one. I'm not sure if the one coming up would be eligible, that our high school kids will be eligible for that, but I'll follow up with you and Keith offline and disseminate that info with everyone. All right, so
I just posted in
yes.
the chat all of the civil service tests that are coming up through June 30th, 2023. So if you click on that link, it'll give you the list, but is auto mechanic and others on that list.
Okay, great. Thanks, Eric. All right, so I'll
Thank
be
you,
sure.
guys.
Yes, great. I'll be sure to share this link with everyone. So just as how MTA has their notice of examinations for the electrical helper, transit cleaner exams and so forth, DCAS has their civil service examinations where our high school students who graduate from our CTE automotive programs, they're eligible to apply for those entry-level automotive service worker opportunities. All right, so if there are no questions for Megan, I just wanted to remind everyone, if you are looking for post-secondary partnerships, we do have Suffolk here, we have Bronx Community College, we have Lincoln Tech, we have President Herman Dawkins on the line with us as well. So you do have a variety of options that you can connect your young people to. And by the way, thank you all for the compliments in the private message section, but please make it public so my boss Jessica can see. Don't send me the compliments in private. All right, next up, I am very glad to see Matt Berlin. I've been trying to get a hold of him, and very glad to have him on board. He is the CEO of NYCBus. And what is NYCBus? NYCBus is a nonprofit school bus company that seeks to provide outstanding service to families and schools in New York City while innovating in student transportation. Matt has done a great job in providing some out-of-the-box opportunities for our young people. And every time we talk, he's always looking for resources to give to our kids. So I wanted to give him this time so that he had an opportunity to talk to our school citywide, to know of some opportunities that you can connect your kids to. So Matt, feel free to unmute and take it over.
Yeah, hi, it's nice to meet you all. I'm joined by Gavaskar. I'm sorry about, sort of September and early October is the worst time to talk to someone in the bus industry. So it's been just a busy school opening. I'm joined here, and I don't know if Ed Driscoll can unmute. He's our Chief Fleet and Facilities Officer. So he's really in charge of everything. Okay, great. Ed's here as well. So Ed just joined us from the MTA. Ed would probably think it's years ago, but it's really only been 6 months. And we are, and Ed especially, interested in intern programs for kids, right? We make our money busing kids from city schools, and we'd love the opportunity to sort of to better interact with those customers by providing opportunities for kids in our shops. We had a very successful program this summer, both with summer youth in the shop, and also we ran a program with some of the children with individualized education programs in our garage up in the Bronx. Ed, you can sort of talk maybe a little more about what we're looking for and where we are. I mean, as you know, I can keep talking, but you're more authoritative than I am.
Basically, I spent 41 years with the MTA. I'm actually 42 years old. That's a joke. No, I spent 41 years with the New York City Department of Buses. I started at the age of 18. I worked my way up from a cleaner all the way up through the maintenance side as a mechanic's helper, mechanic, a line supervisor, depot training supervisor, all the way through management, all the way up to the title of deputy general manager. And I, by 41 years there, which seemed to have flown by, I've met so many people along the way that actually mentored me and thought a lot about me, just from when I started sweeping the floor to like, hey kid, you want to do a brake job today? Come over here, we'll show you a brake job, we'll show you a tune-up. And I would love to give back. And I know Danny Cardoza, who's on the panel as well. Danny and I go back a long time. So it'd be nice to work with him again also. We partner up. But what we would like to do at NYCBus is give kids, just like how I was all those years ago, an opportunity to be who they want to be. There's nothing wrong with a blue collar job. I was pretty successful with the MTA, and now I've joined with Matt, and we're looking to put out a very good product for New York City with the school bus industry. And in a short amount of time, and under Matt's leadership, we have made a difference so far. And if we have the chance now to develop these young men and women who want to learn about the trade of being a mechanic, I will give everything that I have to see them succeed. And and hopefully, someday when they get out of school and they're looking for employment, we would be glad to hire them. So like Matt said, we had a very short window to put something together this past summer for special needs children, as well as technical students. And we gave them a little taste of everything from a DOT inspection to doing brake jobs and, oil changes, mounting and dismounting tires, all the basic stuff. But I really want to take it to the next level and bring these students in and actually train them and give them what they want, interview them, ask them, if there's a certain thing that they're looking at, if they want to get into the electronic diagnostic end, if they want to become an air conditioning specialist, my own range of technical knowledge is pretty wide. I was a trainer for 11 years with New York City Transit. I mean, Danny Cardoza can tell you, we went from diesels with ECUs to hybrid bus technology to CNG technology to electric bus technology, and I was involved in all of it. So like I said, we would be glad to partner up with some schools and some students and just have a beautiful joint venture, and it'll make me happy to pass along whatever I have.
Excellent. Thank you, Matt and Ed. Matt, yes, you had any extra thoughts? You're on mute, Matt.
I put Ed's in my email in the chat. So we would love to hear from program. One of the things that we are not even a year old as a company. And, poor Ed has been too busy getting air conditioning ready and now getting heat ready and getting our facilities in place. So we don't have kind of the administrative infrastructure to manage an internship program. So I think the easiest thing right now is just get in touch with Ed and I, get in touch with us. And we really, really would be, I hope you can hear in Ed's voice that, this is really something that we're anxious to do. We'd love to find ways to do it.
All right. Any questions or comments for Matt or Ed? You guys are so talkative today. The thing is, after this meeting is over, I'm going to get a bunch of private messages and texts asking me questions that I don't know the answers to, and you have the opportunity right here. So school staff members, going once, going twice. All right. I do want to devote a section to any announcements. I see that we have a vast number of partners today, and I saw some different links and resources in the chat. I didn't want to overlook anybody. Before I turn it over to Kendall, are there any partners or any guests in attendance that have any opportunities that they'd like to share with our attendees? I believe, Antoinette from Amtrak. Are you still there, Antoinette?
I am. Thank you so much. I definitely wanted to drop in the chat our scholarship flyer, just to share it really quick. No, can't do that. So we are offering scholarships to high school seniors, particularly those who are attending trade schools, community colleges, or universities. With those opportunities, the scholarship range for $5,000. We're just asking that, if you have any students who are interested, we know that sometimes attending different schools do come with a cost. And so we definitely wanted to ease that financial burden with them. And it's also a great way to get introduced to Amtrak and some of our opportunities as well. We do have a number of opportunities for high school graduates, such as with our trackmen, our communication and signal helpers, as well as our laborers. So these are great opportunities to go into a trade school or community college to receive a certification to progress your career within Amtrak or any other transportation industry as well.
Great, thank you.
And if anyone would like for me to redrop it in the chat, I definitely can.
Yes, please drop it in the chat once more, and let's connect after the meeting as well, so that, do you have my email address? I'll put it in the chat box just once more in case you don't have it, so that I can share this out with all of our schools.
If you can, thank you so much.
Okay, great, thanks, Antoinette. All right, Aleda mentioned a few opportunities. Aleda, did you want to take a couple of minutes to share any upcoming events or news that we need to know about?
Absolutely. Debbie, hi Debbie O'Connor, my partner in crime. And I will be going tomorrow in East Harlem. The MTA Construction Development is hosting a number of skilled trade and nonprofits and labor unions who are looking to hire, because not only when we have these mega projects, not only do we have employees working them, we hire contractors, and those contractors are trying to recruit in various communities. So I will send a flyer to Gav. I'm going to ask if it could be distributed. That would be wonderful. And we have current opportunities. Debbie, I'll let you talk about the New York City Transit and buses opportunities, but also Metro North. We are also recruiting for a rail car electrician. So if you have any students, please feel free to forward their resume to me. I will gladly pass it along to Metro North.
All right, thanks, Aleda. Any questions, comments for Aleda or our MTA team? Any other announcements, whether you're a partner or you're a school staff member? Any questions? No other announcements. Matthew Pierce, did you want to unmute or did you just want to type that in the chat box? You can unmute if you want, Matt.
Hi, everyone. Great to be here for a minute, and thanks for letting me join. I know we'll be talking about this a little bit more in another meeting, but just putting a highlight in the chat. NASA is currently launching opportunities for high school interns that are 16 or over, U.S. citizenship and a 3.0 and above, to apply for a NASA internship at any one of the NASA centers. We do have a local center in New York at the Goddard Institute for Space Studies. And we also have virtual internships around the rest of the agency. I also put in a secondary opportunity for teachers. This is a platform I built with the intent of building a professional community for educators to connect and collaborate with NASA subject matter experts and get resources that are intriguing, inspiring, and may relate to careers. That's all for me. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Matt. So the information for the high school internships are right there in the chat. I'll be sure to email that out to everyone as well. Any other announcements? Any other questions, comments? All right, so for the last part of our meeting, we are going to be discussing the 3-part technical assessment. So this is really relevant for our school staff and not so much our other partners, but you're more than welcome to stick around if you'd like. As always, this recording, all the notes, all the links, all the slides will be emailed to you. Make sure you fill out the attendance link. I'm going to drop it in the chat box just one more time before you guys log out. Make sure you spend a couple of minutes to fill out the attendance link and let us know your feedback. Let us know how we can improve these meetings. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. And there's also a YouTube channel. So all of these meetings are right there in case you have to hop out or in case you miss anything or in case you need to share it with any other of your staff members. I also wanted to thank the beautiful Dominique McDuffie, who was on the call with us. She was instrumental in putting together the Nanotronics Manufacturing Day event. We had so many of our kids and staff sign up for that. I was out of state, so I personally couldn't attend, but Dominique, I hope to be able to attend. I hope to be able to see you in person and see your facilities in person next time. But thank you and the rest of your team for putting that together. And you also see some compliments from in the chat box as well, Dominique. Okay,
thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
All right, great. So we'll be in touch, Dominique, because I'm looking forward to do some more events and some more programs with you. All right, if we have no other announcements from our partners, I'm going to turn it over to Kendall Samlal. He's on vacation in Trinidad. He's on the beach there, but I asked him to join our meeting today. Many of you think that me and him are the same person because we're very rarely in the same room together, but he's a different guy, same team, but different guy. He is the director. He's one of the directors from the program approval and quality team. I've received a number of questions from our high schools concerning the 3-part technical assessment. And just for reference, for those of you who are still in the meeting, who may not be from a DOE school, if you are a kid in our CTE program, in addition to doing your internships and your work-based learning, getting your certifications and all of that, you are expected to do a 3-part technical assessment in order to get your CTE endorsed diploma. And just to make sure we're all on the same page and make sure that we are in proper compliance and making sure that all of our schools are doing following the rules and doing things the right way, I asked Kendall to spend some time with us to share his knowledge with us and share his insight with us, and giving us guidance into how the 3-part technical assessment works, how to properly implement it. And if any of our schools have any questions, he's here for you to take those questions. So Kendall, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again, Gav, for welcoming me to the space. I hope everyone's having a great Tuesday, even though it's a little bit chilly. Yes, Gav, I wish I was in Trinidad right now, but I'm living vicariously through my background. So in regards to the technical assessments, so I posted a link to NYCED's website that addresses this specific topic. There's a 3-part assessment piece, as Gav has mentioned. One part is a written assessment. The second part is a performance-based assessment. The third part is a project or a portfolio in which that students would engage in, and that's normally school-based and school-created. The first 2 parts come from industry. It's psychometrically developed, and it covers the range of what technically is supposed to be covered in a sequence. Now, because a program sequence can look different at different schools, your technical skills that is being addressed throughout all of the courses in the sequence is what that technical assessment is supposed to be assessing. So it's designed to be a comprehensive assessment, and you can actually pull different assessments from different vendors and different parts. What do I mean by that? So for most of our programs who are on here, we have automotive where they're doing automotive service and or they doing automotive collision. We have, I think, 2 programs, maybe 3 who are doing collision. So with the ASC certification can qualify for the written. In the past, programs who have been around for over 6 years, 10 years, have been allowed to use the ASC exam as for both, and it would meet the requirement for both parts, for both part 1 and part 2. However, with the new focus on how things are being aligned, it was come to our attention that by the state that the ASC exam as it stands right now would only satisfy the written component. So for these programs now would have to actually get a second component exam to do the performance. What has been recommended is the precision exam by Use Science 505 exam, and you can use their part 2, which is their performance base, in which to meet that requirement. And then for those who are doing collision, you can use the precision exam by Use Science exam number 507. So that has been what's recommended. Now, the good thing is that there is no master list anymore from the state that captures what exams could be used or could not be used. Through going through the process of doing an external review and being reviewed by the state, if a school identified a vendor who has an exam, it could be something that it could also double as an industry certification that meets both requirements for both written and performance, then through the process of going through the external review and being approved, they would now be a valid technical assessment that can also be used for other folks. Okay, so just want to mention that. And some of these assessments, be careful when you're looking at them, when you're speaking to the vendors, they may require an outside partner to come in and grade the performance pieces. So if that is the case for the ones that are chosen, the partners here on the call, I hope that you are available at some level at some time that you can be assisting the schools with that. Because as Gav mentioned, as they go through the entire sequence for the program, this is one component that they would have to meet in order for them to get that CT endorsement on their diploma. So I'll stop here for any questions.
All right. Do we have any questions from school staff, administrators? John Jastrzemski?
How did you know, Gav? How did you know? Kendall, good to see you, my friend.
How are you?
I'm fine. Listen, that is very useful. Turn my camera on too. That is very useful information you provided. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do have a question though, and as you are, I'm no doubt aware, Precision gives you a framework and identifies like learning outcomes and standards that need to be met, but they don't exactly come up with the tasks. So I'm just wondering, to put this out as a suggestion, if anybody else is contemplating using that exam, if someone is willing to share suggestions about what specifically they are asking the kids to do that would demonstrate achievement of these standards, it would certainly be helpful for me. Yeah, and I know that like Skills USA, some of the schools have been using that. And I think a lot of these different options probably kind of converge on a similar type activity. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think I'm probably not alone, like scratching my head saying, well, you know, that sounds like some great suggestions, but what exactly would the kids do?
Yeah.
So
I don't have the specific answer right now, but I know that Tottenville actually, Gerard down there had actually came up with something which he actually shared with McKee. So we'll see if we can get that out to Gav so he can share with the other automotive programs as well. But they took they actually built out the performance exam based on Precision, which is something that Precision, because of how they design their assessment, it is allowed to do, and you are able to grade it by teachers. So it actually was something that was that actually worked, and it actually helped them move forward with their reapproval. Just something for those who are using Skills USA, please keep in mind that Skills USA would only be able to be qualified to be used as a technical assessment if all students are going to the competition, especially for part 2. You can use the Skills USA for the written part, but for Skills USA to be qualified as the performance part, all students must be going to the competition. If all students cannot go to the competition, then you will not be able to use Skills USA for the second part of that requirement.
Kendall, that's great. Gab, I'd really be anxious to take a look at that. I appreciate that, Kendall.
No, you're welcome.
All right.
Oh,
Yes.
one more thing for Gab. If you do have folks who could connect you with ASC and stuff like that, one of the suggestions that the associates in the state did say, if ASC was willing to do it, something that they had way back in the day, was that they actually did have a performance component, but then they removed that part of the assessment. So if they wanted to go ahead and do one that's sort of runs laterally with the current ASC's one that is available only for high school students, that actually grades a performance piece, then they would then be able to consider that.
We do have Ken Benson from ASC on the call with us. Ken, do you have any thoughts?
If you're using our tasks, you know, we do publicize our tasks for MLR, AST, and MAST that do list the approved tasks. That would be an avenue that you could use.
So the obstacle here is that with the MLR, it doesn't give you a actual grading rubric and a passing score when you're doing the performance. It does give you the list of things in which that they could do, but they needed to be able to have a grading for it and directions on how to do the grading.
Let me do a little more research.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Kendall, would there be any, is there any way that industry partners can help with any of the technical assessments in terms of proctoring, or would their involvement be needed at any point?
Well, that really all depends on the technical assessment. So if the technical assessment and the directions and the protocols for how you administer it requires a outside person to come in, then that's where that's where it comes in. Now, with the precision, the way how they wrote up their protocols is that a teacher can do it. Now, if we do get the update with ASC and they actually are able to now do that grading rubric, I would encourage them in the protocols to say anyone with an ASC certification or would be able to proctor. Then that does not exclude the teachers, right? So you don't have to worry about having to go to a different school and have someone come in.
Okay, great. All right, any other questions, comments for Kendall before we close?
Hey guys, this is John Becker. I just wanted to also say for the industry, ASC is really the top performance certification that any of our students or any of the DOE students can get. And, performance, the other one that you mentioned, if they were to go out to an industry looking for a job, they would not be able to do anything with that.
All right, thanks, JB. That's very kind of you to give the plug for Ken's assessment there, John. Thank you for that.
We are the standard in the industry.
Yes, I mean, I only do that because I know for my many years working with you guys and with the DOE that there's no other, alternative there.
All right. Any other questions or comments before we wrap up? All right, so we had a great turnout. This is way more than I was expecting. Thank you all for making this a very, very productive commission. I'm going to be emailing out the notes, the slides, the links, the scholarships, all the different things that you guys need. Be on the lookout for communications that are coming from me. And as always, thank you so much for what you do. You make my job extraordinarily fun. Thank you all very much. So we'll be in touch, and all the best for the rest of the school year until we see each other again. I'm going to keep the Zoom link open for a few in case you need to connect with anyone. Mike Porcelli, I see. Are you raising your hand, Mike? Do you need to announce anything?
Yes, I
ahead.
am. I heard a lot of talk today about ASC, which I was happy to hear. ASC, I'm the poster boy for ASC, always have been. Years ago, schools would give college credit for ASC certification. And I think that should be brought back. These tests are so difficult, some of them, that you really have to be a good reader and a good thinker to pass these tests. So any student who can pass a regular ASC test, I'm not talking about the student ASC test, but any student who can pass the regular ASC test should be getting college credit. One other thing, my newspaper column every week, it's the other side of education. It's all about trade education. This meeting is going to be the subject of next week's column. Going to praise you for all the good work you do to help kids, train for good careers in all the industries that you cover. So I'm driving now, but when I get home, I'm going to email you. Maybe you can email some of my columns out to some of the members here. I'd like some feedback. If anybody has any ideas on what I can put in next week's column about the work that everybody here does.
Yeah, so Mike, Mike, I'm getting questions about your newspaper column. So all the details, please send it over to us.
Okay, very good. So, like I said, I want to make this meeting and the work everybody here does the subject of next week's column. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for the plug, Mike. I do have a number of schools, colleges that do offer credit for ASC credentials. Gav, if you need some information on that, I can connect you with a couple of people.
Yeah, please do.
That's
And
not a problem.
Mike, some of our guests are saying that you're making them nervous driving while you're on Zoom, so be careful. All right, everyone. So happy Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of the week. Until we see each other again, take care. Thank you all.
Everybody have a great day. Have a great week.